Hey everybody, today we're going to look at the Plethora X1 Harmonizer effect and how you can take something that sounds like this and make it sound like this. With most of the effects on the Plethora, you can just turn it on and play whatever you want. But with the Harmonizer, it's a little bit trickier. You have to pick a key that is a root note or tonic and a scale. Let's look at the pedal and how to set this up. Turning the A knob will alter the mix of the effect. If you want the harmony pushed into the background, just turn that down. Turning the B knob will sweep through a chromatic scale from C to B. This sets the root note of the key. It's all natural notes and sharps, so if you're playing in a flat key, you'll need to convert that. Turning the C knob chooses the scale. There's 18 different scales here. The list can be a little bit overwhelming, so I recommend starting with something you already know and then explore from there. Later on in the video, I'll use the harmonic minor scale. I chose that because I knew the sound, but I was really rusty. I found it was a lot more fun than it was work to get familiar with it, and the tune that I'll play later just fell together out of that. So having set the key, this determines the notes which the harmonizer can play. And realistically, it determines the notes that you should play as well. To be clear, you can play whatever notes you want to, but stepping outside the current scale setting means you're rolling the dice on what the result's going to be. So that's the first big tip. Pick a key and play in that key. The second tip is all about tuning. If your guitar is out of tune, it's going to skew the results. If your guitar is tuned to E flat and you set the pedal to C, you're going to need to play in C sharp. If you have a very wide vibrato style, you may need to temper your playing to get the best results. Start with single note lines. This effect is a polyphonic harmonizer. It can detect multiple notes when you play them, but the sonic layers and the overtones stack up very quickly and it becomes quite muddy. If you're not playing with clean tones, it's probably going to be worse. Don't be afraid to try it. It's just sound, so absolutely explore that, but I think single note lines is the best starting point. We haven't talked about setting the harmony interval yet. The harmony setting is selected by using the tone print toggle switch. I chose the third up setting because it's a familiar sound. It's used by Thin Lizzy or the Allman Brothers or the Eagles in Hotel California, so it's a good starting point. I think that's everything you need to know about the settings to get started. So let's talk about signal flow for just a minute. When I started working this out, I had my guitar going straight into the Plethora and then through my pedal board for a bit of dirt and delay and reverb, then into my amp and then into a 1x12 cab. And it sounded great. Most of what I wrote for this piece was with that setup. When I was getting ready to record, I decided I wanted the main part and the harmony part to be recorded on different tracks, mainly so that I had some choices if the parts weren't sounding great together in the mix. It meant that I could control respective levels or the placement in the stereo field or make individual EQ adjustments, and it was really easy to do. I just plugged into the stereo outs of the Plethora, and my direct signal was on one side and the third up harmony was on the other side. They went into separate inputs in my interface and then straight onto separate tracks. I knew about this trick because I'd looked at the manual for the old Quintessence Harmonizer pedal. Not everything in that manual is strictly correct for the Plethora. For example, the user interface has changed quite a bit. I think it's better on the Plethora. You can see all the scales and you can select any one you like, and you don't have to flick the switch for the sharps. I think looking at the old manuals for any of the Plethora effects is a worthwhile exercise. Because I was going straight from the Plethora into the interface, I didn't use any amps for this. I used Bogren's BDM 800 Bad Boy amp knob plugin on each track. The FX were off and the volume was set around 2. I think it sounds amazing on this track and it was really fun to play. So the piece you're about to watch is in G harmonic minor, it's in the neoclassical style and it's in 12/8. So here's what my goals were for writing this piece. First of all, it had to sound musical. It's not really running scales, and there is some latitude there because it's neoclassical, but I do think it's hummable, and that's a pretty good, simple test on whether something is musical. It should show how the harmonizer sounds and behaves. There's fast notes and slow notes, high notes and low notes, hammer-ons and pull-offs, bends and vibrato, palm muting, there's neck pickup sounds and bridge pickup sounds, there's scale-based licks and bluesy licks, there's even a big slide up the neck, so I think we've got that covered. It should be realistically playable. playable. I wrote this for a 3-piece band setup, just drums, bass and guitars. I think it works, and it shows how the harmonizer can pad that sound a little bit without taking over. A resource for others. I've notated this guitar part with tabs so you can play along with it if you want to work on harmonic minor, or you can play along with the harmonizer, or you can just learn some of the licks if there's something there you like the sound of. It's a great warm-up piece. I think it's fun to play. I'll put out another video which is just the musical piece with the tab, and then you can jump in at the beginning if you want to play along. And you can make it faster or slower depending on what you need to do. The name of the piece is Knights of the Harmonic Realm. It's a cheesy name, but it works for me. I hope you enjoy it and you found this to be helpful. If you like what I'm doing here, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and share this with your friends if you think they would like it too. Thanks for watching.